Yeah, apparently, Brandon Perna just likes to curse quarterbacks now. He's got the Brett Coleman curse going on because you did that video about Sam Darnold, and ever since then, it has not gone
Yeah.
well. And dude,
We did a Jordan Love video at the end of last season too. Weird.
Yeah, look at you did that.
Weird.
Yeah,
So the curse wheel's back. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, you cursed the Vikings, all right. You
Wow.
cursed the crap out of them, dude.
Woo. I don't like it though. To be clear,
I know. Listen, I know you're doing another video on a certain QB this weekend, so Godspeed, Godspeed to
you're
that fan
welcome,
base.
Detroit.
But yeah, let's talk about that game on Monday because we haven't had a chance to speak about it.
It's so long ago, you know.
It really after yesterday.
I did 2 videos about it.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, dude. It's rough, and I see there's this discourse online because the offensive line was not good yesterday. But on Monday night. But at the same time, like, holy crap, Darnold held onto that ball many, many times, way, way, way too long, and ultimately got sacked 9 times. They had the same amount of points as they had sacked. And honestly, I know this is going to be a hot take. I think we can put it to bed. I know there was this argument and controversy all year. Guys, I think Joe Burrow is better than Sam Darnold. He got sacked 9 times in the playoffs, and they won that game, so... Yeah, I know that was looking shaky. Everybody was saying, Sam Darnold better than Joe Burrow, but this is sarcasm, by the way.
I don't think anybody was actually saying that, right?
No, that was your sarcasm. That was sarcasm.
Okay.
That was a heavy dose of sarcasm. I know it's the
internet.
It's
actually said sometimes fair. I wanted Sam to play well. He played great football for 14 to 16 games this season. He was very good. And then, unfortunately for Sam, in the 2 biggest games of the season, with extra eyeballs on him, right? It's not a Sunday morning slate of games where the Vikings are mixed in with 7 other teams playing. It is everybody watching. And Darnold played his worst football. I think Kevin O'Connell coached his worst football. I think Sam just held onto the ball for an eternity. Looking back at that, dear God, Sam, just throw it away. Live to fight another down, because the thing that never clicked for Sam was 3rd and 16 is better. Third and 16 is not better than, 3rd and 6 because you threw the ball away, Sam. He put the offense in so many bad positions in that game, and I would say 6 of those 9 sacks were all on him.
Yeah, dude, it was a rough night, and talk like that. I feel bad because you do have that really, really good season, and we're talking about Sam Darnold where is he gonna go? And every single time we're also talking about him, it's probably to a worse situation. And now I don't think he's back with the Vikings, and if he is, it is not anything like the contract that he was expected.
I think it's on the franchise tag if he comes back. I really do.
Anything? Yeah.
I think that's if they decide they want him, and it's all on the Vikings. Sam lost all his leverage, right?
Yeah.
At the end of week 17, it was okay, Vikings, best record they've had since what was it, the 98 team or whatever?
Yeah.
He's in the driver's seat here. If he wants to return, and if Minnesota wants him, they're going to have to pay to keep him. And he's going to have options from multiple teams to go out and command a more than a Baker Mayfield type contract, right? It was at that point, it was, okay, Baker put it here.
Before Monday, you're saying.
You add more on that.
Yes.
And the Baker Mayfield contract always kind of felt like the fair comp for Sam Darnold there.
Sure.
And I said in the Sam Darnold video, I'm the only way the Vikings let Sam go is if he starts in the bed so profusely, they got to throw out the mattress with him. And then that happened.
Yeah.
And I did not think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought they might lose, but I didn't think, because Sam was arguably the worst quarterback all weekend. So I feel for him.
Yeah.
And he's gonna make some bank, and I don't think most GMs out there who are looking for a quarterback are gonna go, okay, those 2 games are only who this guy is.
Sure.
They might have some concern on who he is in big games, But I think he can go and win a team a good amount of football games, but it does have to be a good situation for him. He can't go to, the worst team in the league and turn them into a 10, 11 win team.
No. But again, Vikings fans also talking about their offensive line, and the thing is too, that offensive line has gotten better over the years, but the interior, because it used to be real, real bad. Yeah. That interior definitely could use some things there. There's good and bad fans, unfortunately, in every single fan base. And unfortunately, you saw some bad fans. That's what happens. That's what happens. Also, real quick, we have it's true, Jack, excuse me. The Vikings crying on the field.
Yeah.
I want to bless us with the tones of one Paul Allen.
Receivers left, Rams blitz. Darnold gets away from it, steps up in the pocket. He's holding it too long.
Just run.
Throw it, man.
Just run, Paul.
At the 25-yard line, he's sacked for a 5th time.
All he's got to do is pull that thing down and run.
Throw it, man.
He's holding it too long. If the announcer has the time to say he's holding it too long, you might be holding it too long.
And honestly, I've had a lot of time this year because I've been watching the Packers pass rush. So like Jalen Hurts will have like 7 seconds or anything like that. So I understand Vikings fans, but yeah, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, it's a run. And I feel like for Vikings fans, it's tough for a couple reasons. I think it's just one of the biggest fall offs in the span of a week, right? Like it's like, hey, we beat the Packers, full blown celebration. We swept them for the first time. It was like, since 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
Huge like celebration. We're crushing it. 14 wins. We're going in for the number 1 seed. That did not go well against the Detroit Lions. Honolulu Flu came back. And so there was already like that just took a lot of wind out of our sail because now we're the 5th seed. We're going on the road. Okay, we got to now see what's going on with Sam Darnold. Now there's not a lot of faith. And then that happens. It's just within the span of the week of 1 seed, 14 wins to, and now we're gone. Is a pretty big drop off. But the good news is that the Vikings have JJ McCarthy, and now all that hope and optimism can now be, projected on him to potentially save the franchise.
Yeah, and the story for the Bears and Bears fans before this season was like Caleb's going into, the best situation the rookie's gone into for a while. And that wasn't true, but that was the idea. And now it's actually true for JJ McCarthy. He's not a rookie, but he didn't play a single snap this season. So for a young quarterback, he is heading into a phenomenal situation with a great coach. And I think the Vikings bring Sam Darnold back if they don't want to start JJ McCarthy week 1. If they do want to start him week 1, then they can move on from Sam. And you look at Kevin O'Connell's track record and be like, we can keep Dan Jones. We can have a veteran quarterback in this locker room who will be a good sounding board for JJ. A good mentor or whatever, and like a guy who, if JJ gets hurt, we have a backup plan. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. It's like this weird line between loyalty and business, right? Because they took a chance on Sam. Sam gave them everything they could have asked for until the last 2 weeks. And I think as fans, you get this sentimental thing where you're like, they should bring him back, even if they got to pay a little bit more than they want to for a guy who's going to transition to a backup quarterback or whatever, because, they saved him. He kept them rocking, but that's just not how the NFL works. It's like, somebody else can pay him, $30 million a year for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings are doing it.
I think that team should be the Raiders. That's the conclusion I got to. It's like the Raiders are in a spot where they're not going to, unless they move up or the draft kind of shakes out a little bit, differently than we think. I don't know if they can get a quarterback that they want at 6. They've got so many things to sort of figure out. We don't know what their approach is going to be moving forward as Tom Brady gets more say in how they function operationally.
So they're just like
his mystery team. So we'll see. But where Darnold goes is going to be interesting.
Yeah, So let me ask you, do you think the next place he goes, he's a starter?
I would imagine, yeah. Because I think for Sam, if he goes somewhere else, he's going to be a starter. If he's comfortable with a role where he's not that guy, then I think he's going to want to stay in Minnesota, right? Like,
That's fair.
people love him there. The locker room loves him. We know that. He's played at a high level. Like, if he knows his job is not guaranteed,
New starting quarterback.
stay there.
I get
there's a
that.
handful of teams I think are going to be like, yeah, Darnold can help us right now. Maybe he's not the guy we want for 5 years, but 2 to 3, 100%.
Because that's the thing too, like unless you bring him in as like that bridge QB, because I feel like that role is where he's gonna like if he went balls to the wall in like these last 2 weeks, like if he got on the 1 seed or like had even just a really good playoff game, we're talking about this very differently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there are very few teams that have the wide receiver room that the Minnesota Vikings have. Like there are very few teams. Like we're talking about KOC. It's so funny because we're talking about KOC as coach of the year, and then within like people were like, "Oh, KOC, they should have benched Sam Darnold, like all this," and start questioning all that. And I go, you know what? I'm just glad it's not Packers fans. It's not just Packers fans who are like the sky is falling. It's good to know that we at least have some company there.
It's every fan. It's every fan.